Not to the point where my husband, yes, I am a cop's wife, not to the point where my husband had to take someone's life, but to the point where, a simple traffic violation can cause so much, it could cause a whole lot of uproar, stuff, that could be avoided, stuff that, possibly don't have to take place. But unfortunately, things just take place sometimes. So let's talk about the good and honest cop's wife perspective. A good and honest cop wife, she meanders what's taking place. She meanders. She doesn't just look at, oh, how this is gonna affect my husband. This is what happens. She says stuff like this. Lord, it could have been my husband, because the victim is gone and their family is mourning. Their family is mourning. My husband had to take, possibly had to take a life. It could have been my child. That's what a good, honest cop's wife thinks. She thinks those things to see if everything was evaluated before that the trigger was pulled. You get a split second, but take a split in between that second to consider who it's all going to affect. She also says to herself, it could have been me. That's what she says to herself too. That's a good and honest cop's wife. If you're not good and honest, I don't expect you to agree with what I'm saying. But me, seeing stuff from the civilian side and seeing it from the police side, I just have to weigh it from all different angles. I can't just choose a side. I have to be honest with myself first, foremost. And then you think, when will it end? When will cops stop power tripping? Respect others. Lead by example. Lead by the same rules that they are called to enforce. When would they maintain a sense of integrity? That thing where you do the right thing when no one's looking. And when would they continuously uphold their good moral character? When will civilians hold themselves accountable? Stop living in denial. When your family member is wrong, admitting that your family member was wrong, accepting that they were wrong, knowing that there probably could have been another possible solution, and then we all can learn from this perspective. And stop resisting. When will the government devise a program that identifies racist individuals and keep them out of the public's eye, causing more poison to be distributed? When will the government implement that? Like, hey, I'm going to recognize right now that you are racist, and we cannot have you being a cop, because you're going to start more trouble than we want attached to our name. And then you go up into this transition to where you get to thinking, and you're like, when will victims stop protesting for justice? You're probably like, when you think they're going to stop protesting, they're going to stop protesting when they get justice. And you are exactly right. When will justice stand up for justice? Not just for the rich, but for the rich and the poor. We're all measured by the same justice system. Not because we got more money and we can get off with it, but because, guess what? We're all human beings. We all should be treated equal. And unfortunately, that's not happening. And finally, when will the cop's wife, you get to the point where you say, when will the cop's wife, I'm talking to the wives, because I am the wife of a cop. When will the cop's wife stop sitting back in silence to save family face? When? Yes. Our government has it to where if you marry somebody, you can't testify against them. It becomes a conflict of interest. But when will a good and honest cop's wife be honest and tell the truth about what's wrong and what's right? When? Honestly, there are good and bad, cops, as the public and the media professes. I agree to that 100%. On that note, I just hope and pray. I hope and pray that the public considers my husband. No, not everybody else's. I'm taking the blame for my family. Considers my husband to be one of the good ones, who
am I to only want my husband to be good in my eyes only? The Word of God declares that if you're only good to those who are good to you, or rather love you, don't you already have your reward? Therefore, I hope and pray that my husband is someone that the public can trust and depend on in times of difficulty and trouble. To me, he exercises that ability, but that's to me. However, it isn't great to me until it's exercised in public as well. Now, to get to why I'm really speaking on video in the first place, today my head hurts and my heart feels some of the pain of the Sterling family. America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. America, that has a beautiful, fulfilling motto, but fails to live all the way up to its name, America. You know, at some point, this motto must start to fulfill itself completely. Cops are taught to de-escalate, but lately it appears that they've taken a course in the exact opposite. I say that to ask this. When you're called to a situation, imagine the person on the other end being that of your loved one. Now tell me, would you behave the same way? I know that cops run the risk of a split-second decision determining if they'll return home or not daily. Additionally, they run the risk of taking half of that split second to de-escalate and add clarity to an already heated moment. At least that's what I think. I think you should just take a moment to use up half of that split second to de-escalate, to check yourself and say, hey, I'm going into this situation and it may cost somebody their life. And before that happens, I want to go in the right way. I want to go in the right manner. I say that to say anyone with a good, pure, and genuine heart are affected by the death of these victims. I am affected. So I ask that we all pray for one another and find a common solution where we all can return home in perfect health at the end of every day. But first I say, be true to yourself. Don't never be in denial about a situation. Always be honest. And if you're a police officer, be true to yourself as well. If you've wronged the family, admit that you're wrong. Apologize to that family so that they can move forward. Sometimes all it takes is an apology. You tell a family, you know, I'm sorry. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And you explain yourself to them and you let them know that, because that's your brother and sister. And you have to explain yourself to them and let them know that. And a lot of you just won't publicly hold yourselves accountable to a split decision that you made in the heat of the moment. So apologize. Apologize. When you're wrong, admit it. Stop being defended in your wrongdoing. Stop being enabled. And if you're true to yourself, be true to these families and let them know that you're sorry that you had to take the life of one of their family members. Let them know that. Sometimes that's all it takes for those people to move forward and stop feeling a sense of resentment towards you. Sometimes that's all it takes. So be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Victims, families, be true to as well. Don't never be in denial about a situation. Always be honest. We all can kill all of this if we're honest with ourselves. And we have to do that. And I speak to you all today from a cop's wife's perspective.